We are in the middle of a huge portal that is being activated right now at this exciting time. And this call is going to be focused on three parts. One part healing and clearing. We're going to move through it very quickly though. So if you're interested in tools for moving beyond the repeating lower vibrational timelines of the third dimension, you may find this very valuable. The second piece we're going to look at is dismantling the belief system, because it's a very limiting prison in most cases, and I'll explain that. The third part is we're going to begin to get into celebration mode, because whether you are aware of it or not, because it's not being broadcast on every channel, we are in one of the greatest shifts and awakening periods ever in recorded history. And it's happening now. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited. And yeah, I move through stuff with clients and people that are still healing and moving through things, but the beauty of what's happening right now, if you use these tools and become consciously aware, is that things are accelerating, which means that the New Earth 5D timelines are already here. As far as manifestation and inner healing goes for ourselves, it's accelerated. And it all comes down to being consciously aware of your thoughts, your words, how you tell your story, what you focus on, beginning first thing in the morning when you awaken out of the sleeping dream, and really taking a close look at the programs that keep people being magnetized back into the 3D matrix. And those programs are judgments, being an automatic reactor, getting triggered anytime a wound, an uncleared wound or trauma, or your belief system gets challenged. You can see it everywhere. And this is how the media and the people in power have been able to keep people in this recycling pattern. But the great news is that this is all shifting. We came here for this, and it's happening, and nothing can stop it. If you're even paying attention at all, you will see, no matter what channels of connecting with people or tuning into world events, you will see that there is a tidal wave of exposure, disclosure, people stepping down, and just things being so blatantly obvious in people's faces. But you can also see that many people, once they have chosen to take a stand, whether it's to wear a mask or get the jibby or whatever it is, or to believe in something, it becomes difficult for them to reverse what they invested their energy into. And so the reason why things are becoming so blatantly amplified and in people's faces is because it's time to awaken. That's why we came here. And our invitation as those that may be able to see or that have been aware of these things for 20, 30 years, 5 years, 1 year, 10 years, whatever it is to not be in a state of judgment of others. It's really, really key. Actually, it's mandatory. If we choose and we desire to move out of the repeating 3D timelines, we cannot be judging. We cannot be calling people names anymore. We've got to understand that every single person that we see is part of the one. And as my teacher, Don Miguel Ruiz, told me in 2001, he said, Jeff, everyone is you. Everyone is you. And now the different people that may be watching this on this call, or the people that watch this replay, might have the same reaction that I had when I heard that 20 years ago. And it was difficult for my mind to process it, because it was like, what do you mean everyone's me? I'm not a murderer. I'm not a pedophile. I'm not, in government, deceiving people. But this is all a big hologram of the collective energy. And so the tools that I'm going to share are going to be transformational. And if you're here listening to this right now and you hang in there for a little bit longer, I just invite you to listen with an open heart and to really be open to what I say, because it's really simple stuff. This course and journey that I take people through every month, there is nothing difficult or hard about it. That is a 3D belief that keeps people stuck, and they keep telling that story. And when you tell the subconscious that something is difficult or hard, the subconscious delivers that experience. That's what it does. The subconscious takes direct orders and it delivers that experience. So you're either abundant or it's hard. You're in lack. Money is difficult. That was the way it was for me my entire life up until 2 or 3 years ago. And I had to play with it in my mind to see the abundance everywhere before it actually began to be a constant wave of abundance flowing into my reality. I had to test it, or more to the point, I was tested, because even though I desired to attract abundance, and I paid for a lot of courses, EFT tapping, money comes to me easily and effortlessly, affirmations, I was still holding the belief within my subconscious, which is running the show, that there wasn't enough. And when we look at the external in this whole fake money system that's falling apart right now as we speak, which is awesome, it mirrors back lack. So if we don't have a higher level of awareness to not believe what we're seeing in the external, and we create it here in the internal every single morning when we awaken and we raise our vibration, we love on every one of these trillions of cells that have been serving us unconditionally since we've been in the womb, then we begin to raise our frequency. When we begin to play, when we begin to sing, when we begin to hang out in nature, when we begin to do kind things for others, not expecting anything in return, we put our faith in abundance and knowing that love, excitement, joy, gratitude, compassion, and forgiveness, these are the highest frequencies. These are 5D frequencies. And so there's only one invitation right now, moving forward, which makes it simple. Where is your frequency right now and throughout the day? And more importantly, I have found you must intentionally create and set that frequency first thing in the morning, as soon as you open your eyes and wake up out of the sleeping dream. Why? Because if you don't, those 50 to 80,000 thoughts that are running underneath the surface, and 80 to 90% of those are negative for a lot of people. You can say, well, that's not me. I know a lot of people that follow this stuff are positive. They're doing the stuff. This is just an amplification opportunity on the solstice. It's actually the 13th here where I am, because I'm in Thailand. I'm in the future. It's Monday. But this for the United States and California, where I'm from, this is it right here. And people are popping like popcorn everywhere. Look at countries like Australia that had the toughest lockdown and the darkest people, some of them in control. They're waking up, man. People have had enough, and they're doing it peacefully. They're not rioting. That's the old way. That's how they get you. They want you to do that. So we're moving into this golden age very rapidly now, and things are accelerating. So if we desire to accelerate abundance, health, reversing aging, are you playing with that? Do you speak to your cells every day? Do you do mirror exercises? Do you love on yourself every day? Instead of allowing those old programs to run about getting old and wrinkles and gray. We have them, but we can reverse them. And this is really, really super key. So the first step to moving out of 3D timelines is inner healing. A lot of people choose to look at this step last because, number one, we weren't really taught how to do it. Number two, most of the wounds and trauma happen when we're children. And so they get buried and locked down, and then we just go on to our lives, business as usual, and we attempt to be positive and everything else. However, if there's still something running underneath the surface that we haven't cleared and healed, it's going to show up. It's going to attract a like frequency vibration, or it could. Not going to say it's going to, but in my experience, it definitely did. In relationships, in lack of money, lack of self-love that I had for some time. And just being an automatic reactor to what I would see out there. But the hologram is reversed. That's the trick and the trap of it. You begin your day every morning lying in bed when you realize that you just woke up out of what we call the sleeping dream, because we're dreaming all the time. We're dreaming right now, right? When my teacher, Miguel, first told me that, I kind of reacted because my ego, who, for those of you that may have seen these, I named my ego Larry. And if you haven't named your ego, hey, Asta, great to see you. Angelica, everybody else is tuned in. If you haven't named your ego, it's one of the most beneficial things you can ever do, because you must begin to see the programs that it runs in order to dismantle them, or the ego will simply justify them and tell them that you're right and say that other people out there are wrong, and just keep running the program of judgment and reaction. And that's the 3D program that they love, because you just loop. You can't get out. And then you try and figure out why. And so we are at one of the most incredible times in recorded history. And it's happening right now. And if you can't tell, things are accelerating very quickly. So this is why I love to share this stuff, because it's simple. There's 3 different pieces to the waking up in the dream process. And the first piece is inner healing. And it can't be avoided, but it can be done with love, and it can be done with playfulness. And the tools are in the book. I've got a course for under $100. And then I do the personal mentoring with people. A 30-day mentorship. Only 30 short days. I don't drag it out. It's not 3 months. It's not 6 months. It's not a year. Some people journey with me longer, but the process is so streamlined when you be able to track your judgments, your less than thoughts, and you go in and do the inner healing, and then you consciously create your reality every single morning and throughout the day, setting alarms, bringing yourself back to where's my frequency right now? Where is my frequency right now? Because those are the timelines you're going to attract. They're already here. Every outcome, abundance, lack of abundance, loving relationships, dysfunctional relationships, health, lack of health, it's already here in the now. It's just a matter of tuning your awareness and your frequency. And this is the only game in town, is conscious awareness. That's it. Everything else is just experiencing whatever timelines you want to choose to experience, and doing it with love and excitement, and knowing that every single person you are connected to in one way or the other, even if they trigger you. Those are your greatest teachers, people that trigger you. Can you stop instead of reacting, judging, and projecting? It's a hologram. And I talk about this all the time, because until we understand that, we're reactors. We're automatic reactors. I was an automatic reactor most of my life. Most people are, because they take on a set of beliefs in a very flimsy, limiting belief system. And then if there's any wound that's not cleared from childhood, which there usually always are, because that's part of the journey. You come in as a completely unlimited, sovereign, divine little child with big, huge eyes of wonder. And then before long, you start getting taught the belief system, and you start getting taught what to think instead of how to think. And the whole school system was set up to keep you looping in 3D timelines so you can go get a job and give up 65 years of your life so then you can become retired. It's rigged so heavily, and people know it, but they don't necessarily know how to get out of it. And these are the tools. And there's three main pieces to the waking up in the dream process. And the first piece is inner healing. There's no way around it. But it's so easy compared to what people have made it out to be. It's not super painful and, on the edge of death. And yeah, there may be some tears. I go through this with people almost every day of the week. When you're in a safe space and you can zoom out and understand what happened and why it happened, and more importantly, that you chose it as part of your soul contract. That's really key to be open to. You chose everything. And the people that chose the most difficult challenges are the people that have either been here more times or they're just really holding a higher frequency for the collective. It's not a competition. Everybody's doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. But to understand that we chose our parents, even if they were abusive. We chose everything that happened to us. And I know this is touchy for people that I journey with, like that have been raped or really heavily abused or had somebody murdered in their family. I know. I've experienced it. Okay? And I journey with a lot of people that have been through this. But they're not only healing for themselves, they're healing for the collective. And so doing the inner healing is actually very easy. And if that triggers you, just take a breath. You can be mad at me, it's okay. When I heard certain things, I didn't necessarily like them. I didn't necessarily like the fact that, I was ready to check out several times suicidal, in my 20s and 30s. And I couldn't understand why the programs were so stacked against people. But then I started to do the inner journeying. And I realized that the external 3D world was keeping me trapped and stuck and recycling in those programs of judgment, reaction, and not seeing the bigger picture. Now, you've got to look at the bigger picture because it's so in our face. There's no getting around it. So, number one key, highest frequency, excitement. It's time to get excited. And if you're not excited every single day, then figure out why not. And that could trigger a lot of people right now because you could be going, Jeff, I can't stand my job. I'm just getting by. All my family got the jib. Nobody's awake. I understand. Believe me, I understand. However, this is just a dream. And the key is to navigate through this dream and create it the way that you desire to create it. And that begins with consciously creating your reality every single morning. But the only way that we can consciously create the reality that we desire is we must go in and do the inner healing part first. And it's not that difficult. I'm telling you. I journey with people every month that clear decades and decades and decades, 6, 7 decades of trauma and pain. And it's just a matter of using the tools in the book, in the trainings, and you can go to my YouTube channel, Portal to Awakening. I've got almost every live I've ever done, and it goes over these tools that took me 20 years of studying with my mentor, Don Miguel Ruiz, to go in and undo a lot of stuff. Because he didn't teach it to me like, here's step 1, here's step 2, up step 3. He's an incredible man that tells stories, and he's brilliant at what he does. But it took me much longer to move through it. And so I'm able to take people through this process in 30 days. And usually within the first few days, the inner healing happens. Once you do it, it's done. Something might pop up that you forgot about. Somebody did something to you in the 3rd grade and you haven't thought about that in 10 years. It's okay. Then you have the tools to clear it. You feel the trigger, you go in, you love on your body, you take a breath and you go, what is this trying to teach me or show me about me? And then you thank the person or the event. That's clearing. That's clearing. When you can thank the event and know and be honest with yourself that you chose it as part of your soul contract, that you came down here. And before I had enough experience with that, I said I would have never chosen what I chose to go through before I came down here. The pain, the suffering, my dad dying when I was young, being the only kid in school without a father. People have a lot worse things, but I didn't realize that I had chosen that. It took me a pretty long time to figure it out because not many people were teaching what Miguel and many other people are teaching now. Your thoughts, your words, and the emotional frequency or vibration that you put behind that are attracting all the timelines that come in to your reality, whether it's abundance, lack of abundance, loving relationships, or toxic people. Whatever it is, look around and you can be upset. You can be pissed. I have been plenty of times. If you really want to get honest with yourself, the time to get excited is right now, because we are in the greatest accelerated shift in recorded history that I know of. And I don't really know anything. I don't remember past lives, but I understand frequency and vibration, as those are what attract our timelines. Think of each one of these as an event. They're all here right now. They're not in the future. It's all here right now. So the key is to move out of 3D, is to raise your frequency, and step 1 is inner healing. And if anybody needs any help, feel free to send me a message or reach out. I go through the tools over and over and over. I guess I would say it can be easier with somebody that can mirror you, because a lot of times we can't see our program and we tell our story about what happened to us, and it feels so fresh and so like part of our energetic frequency and makeup that we don't see what the gift was. We don't see that. And so I've had the wonderful experience of being able to mirror thousands of people through this process. And it happens very quickly. Once you see that was part of your soul contract, then you can clear it very, very quickly. It doesn't take years. It doesn't take months. I see it happen every single month. So inner healing, super, super key. And yeah, there's just, we can't be victims anymore. We've got to understand that we came here to clear a lot of heavy stuff that's been happening for thousands of years, and we are at the greatest time right now to get excited. Even if you're still dealing with stuff, even if you're moving through pain, even if you've got some body issues, even if you don't like your job or anything right now, hang in there and begin to use these tools, because you can shift out of anything. If you're working a job that you don't love right now and you feel that there's no way out, I understand that. But I'll also mirror you really truthfully and say, there's something else within inside you that you would rather or prefer to be doing. But for some reason, you don't feel safe to do it, and you haven't jumped yet. And that is the key to tune into. And that's what I love to assist people with every month. So if that resonates, send me a private message or go to the website, Portal to Awakening, and read the testimonials that other people say. I mean, I didn't tell them to write them, but these are people that were already aware, and then they saw what I saw. I didn't realize the programs that I was running because my ego convinced me that they were real. And it kept reinforcing them because it needed to be in this false sense of control to feel safe. And that's what so many people do. And that's why so many people out there are automatically reacting to everything that triggers them, and they don't see that that is the key to unlock the gift and free them. So the second piece to what I would call the healing journey and stepping into your sovereignty as an unlimited being. Do you truly believe in your heart of hearts that you are an unlimited being? Or are you not sure? It doesn't really matter what your answer is, but it's good to have the awareness of what you believe since you're creating your reality, whether you truly even believe that or not right now. But I can tell you that you are, with your thoughts and your words and your beliefs and the energy that you put behind those words and emotions. And excitement is the highest frequency. It's a magnet that attracts abundance, love, magic, and miracles, synchronicities every day. And it's really, really key to understand this. So if you don't understand it, feel free to ask a question. These lives are Q&As. Don't be afraid to ask a question. Probably everybody else has the same question. And there are no stupid questions. There aren't. I remember I used to sit in a room with Don Miguel Ruiz and a group of brave souls back in 2001. And I would go to the dreaming weekends, which were 3 days long. And we would lock in to a building. And we'd all take air mattresses and we'd stay there all together for the whole time. The only time we would go out is to eat. And then we'd come back and Miguel would talk and Barbara Emrys would talk and some other people would talk. And we'd get up on a couch and ask our questions in front of people. And it was pretty scary to get up there and say that you're afraid and you don't know shit, you know? But it's really, really key because once you ask the question and you get the reflection, all of a sudden your body just relaxes and you go, oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So this whole process of waking up in the dream, waking up in this reality that we're here to create this new 5D earth and beyond begins with inner healing. And it must be done. There's no way around it. You can't fake your way around it with crystals and changing your name. And you've got to go in and do it. And you can do it so quick. So if anybody has any questions about that, now's a great time to get some feedback and open this up for other people. And I'll move into the second step. Second step is dismantling our belief system because it's really a prison. Nobody ever taught me this. So grateful that Miguel got me to see this. Back in 2001, 2002, he got us all in this small group that we were studying with to write down all our beliefs in a journal. And I wrote down all my beliefs and I realized none of these are even mine. None of them were even mine. And that opened up the whole world to me. I was like, oh my God, nobody's beliefs are even theirs, hardly. And everybody's running around being triggered by anything that challenges their belief system. So the 3D matrix knows how to manipulate people so easy. They're sitting back laughing because all they got to do is put two opposing things together. White lives matter against black lives matter, Republican versus Democrat. All they do is keep stacking people against each other. So everybody's in automatic cycles of judgment and projecting. Judgment and projecting. That keeps you stuck, looping in 3D for decades and lifetimes. So now here we are. And the energies that are coming into the planet are accelerating. And it's a wonderful time. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. The dark is being exposed. I mean, what they're doing is crimes against humanity beyond anything we could ever imagine. What they're doing to the children. But it's being exposed. And most of the leaders in positions of power were all put there by the cabal. They're all being removed. It's great news. But the ones of us that have seen this happening for a long time, we've kind of had to wait because apparently You can't just red pill everybody, or they'll flip out if they find out that everything that they've been taught in science, religion, spelling, has all been a lie. It's all been inverted. So, all right. So now we know. So here we are. So let's rock and roll. So JLM here says, I feel like I'm in a slump. Okay. First of all, thank you for being the one that is willing to say, I feel like I'm in a slump. It's great. So what can we do to get you out of a slump? Do you consciously create your reality first thing every single morning? Most people don't. Most people wake up and the 50 to 80,000 thoughts that they carried in from yesterday and the day before and last year and 10 years ago are just running the same thing. How can anything shift if that's what's running? That's why the very first thing that everybody does when they go through this course is they begin to consciously create their reality first thing every single morning, along with the inner healing. So if you feel like you're in a slump, I don't know what that slump is, but it usually comes down to challenges and beliefs of not being able to get to where we would like to be. And usually that's attached to a belief system or a trauma or, a belief system. Money is difficult, or, I can't meet my soulmate. 9:33 right now. I love that. I never look up there, but all of a sudden I look up there and it says 9:33. Playing with numbers is great and there's 11 people on here right now with 22 comments. 11, 22, 9:33 all lining up. Can you make that up? Am I doing that? Are we doing that together? Isn't that interesting? When we begin to play in the field with a higher vibration of excitement and playfulness, the timelines start to become magnetized to us. But we must be consciously aware. So when JLM says, I feel like I'm in a slump, okay, great. So let's unpack that. What is the slump? Is it financial? Is it depression? Is it not doing what you love? Ask yourself the question. And again, are you consciously creating your reality first thing every single morning before those 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running? If you've watched my lives before or been to the YouTube channel, you know that I talk about doing this very first thing as soon as you wake up and open your eyes. Because if you don't, those same 50 to 80,000 thoughts are just going to start running. So if you're not doing this, I got to tell you, this is worth more than anything you will ever pay for. If you just commit to doing this every single morning, first thing. Because here's the truth. We are creating our reality every day, in every moment, by the thoughts, the words, our imagination, and the emotional frequency or vibration that we put behind them. That is a fact. That is the law of attraction. The majority of people that I talk to do not create their reality first thing in the morning. The people that go through my course do, and then they do it for the rest of their life, because all one has to do is do it for a little bit of amount of time, and then they don't do it for a day, and then they can see. You can see the power of it. And this is why the 3D matrix has been set up the way it's been set up, so people don't consciously create their reality. They're in reaction mode. They're trying, they're wanting, they're hoping, they're wishing, they're needing. All the weak ass spell words that so many people don't even know they don't even realize they're using when they use them. And it's not our fault. These were specifically put in to spelling to tell our subconscious that things aren't here yet. When we use the words want, hope, wish, try, need, hard, difficult, can't, those all signal the subconscious, which is running the show, and they signal the subconscious and tell it one thing and one thing only. It's still not here yet, or it's difficult. So the subconscious, it can only do one thing. It takes a direct order. So it goes, okay, guys, it's not here yet. That thing they desire, it's not here yet. And it's difficult, it's hard, it's difficult. One of the first things I do is mirror people on our first call together. And they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize I was using wish, hope, want, try. All those place everything in the future. And when you're dealing with manifestation, you must see it here now, right now. And you must become so comfortable with knowing that if you desire anything, you wake up first thing in the morning, or you set alarms on your phone throughout the day. I have every single person that goes through this course set 15 alarms on their phone every single day. And when those alarms go off, they catch as many as they can, and they stop, and they take a breath, and they smile, because that relaxes every one of their cells. And they go, where is my frequency right now? Am I in the future? Am I in the past? Am I excited? Am I doing what I love? And that will begin to get you to see when you're tripping, when you're in the past, when you're in the future. And you can only manifest in the now. Life-changing in every single way. The most life-changing thing you'll probably ever do. And if you do it first thing every morning, and then you do it before you go to sleep, so that your subconscious is running that all night long, and then you catch a certain amount of alarms every day and get playful and excited. Two of the most powerful words of attraction we will ever use. Playful and excited. Do you get excited every single morning? Most people I know do not, especially when it's a weekday and they got to go to work. And if you're not getting excited, then don't expect to manifest matching frequencies. And if you got to fake it a little bit till you make it, then that's what you do until it becomes so automatic. So get excited. Get excited. Do whatever you have to do to get excited. Hang out with people that are speaking about positive things. Hang out with people that will mirror you, that will not judge you, but will hold you accountable for your frequency. This is priceless. Hanging out with people that are consciously aware and that are willing to be accountable when they get triggered or when they judge somebody. You must be able to feel the frequency of a judgment, a trigger, doubt, shame, guilt, hopelessness, because those keep us stuck in 3D, looping over and over and over. And everybody's got a beautiful heart. We're all sovereign divine beings. So it's not that you're not good enough. That can be a big wound that sticks with people. It's just that we were given programs in the school system that were specifically designed to keep us looping in the 3D matrix. And one must see that in order to move beyond it. Super key, but it's not difficult. It's so easy. When I get on the first call with somebody, week 1 call, when they sign up for the 30 days, one of the big words that so many people use is need. I need to do this, I need to do that, I need that. And I mirror them the first time, and I say, need is telling your subconscious it's not here right now. And 9 out of 10 people, the next time they go to use that word, they catch it right away. Even if they've been using it for 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. I journey with people that are 6, 7, 8 decades young. Real key, never, ever use the word OLD again. Why? Because every one of your trillions of cells inside this beautiful divine vessel are consciously aware, and they're listening to every single thought and word that you think and speak, and they're taking direction from it. So don't ever tell anybody how OLD you are. If you want to tell them you're AGE, just say, I'm 41 years young. Young. And I invite everybody on this call and that watches the replay to begin to speak to yourselves first thing every morning while you're lying in bed, and spend some time doing it. If you need to set your alarm so you can lie in bed for 20 minutes or a half hour, or God forbid an hour, and really consciously envision your reality that's already here now, the abundance, the relationships, the health, the travel, the excitement, whatever it is, you see it is already here now. Because the subconscious only knows how to deliver on something that's here now. This is one of the biggest keys ever that they never taught in The Secret and all the other programs I paid for to generate abundance. None of them worked for me. And I gave away 11 copies of The Secret from Rhonda Byrne the year it came out on DVD. And they left out the most important piece of manifestation. And that is, you must see it as here now. It's already here now. It's never in the future. And never speak about it as in the future, or your subconscious will keep it in the future. That's priceless right there. That changed my life completely. So if there's any other questions, bring them. Hi, Andrea. Thank you. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that I'm speaking to myself so that I never forget this stuff ever again. Yeah. So if anybody else has any questions, please feel free to ask, because this is what this is for, you know? And so have we all dismantled our belief systems yet? Not 9:44. There you go. How did I know that? I don't know. Hey, Angelica, great to see you. Yeah. Okay. So it took me a little while to dismantle my programming and to heal my wounds, only because my magnificent teacher didn't map it all out like do step 1, step 2, step 3, like it is in the book. It's simple. There's nothing difficult about this process. There's nothing difficult about it. It's just a matter of understanding, do this first, do this second, track these thoughts, keep track of them. And then, you know, my digital course and the book and people that journey with me one-on-one, they fill out a simple 2-page sheet every night. It takes 5 minutes. Some of them spend a half hour on it, writing out what came up for them, what was their trigger, what was their win, what was their aha moment. Yeah, you do this for 2 weeks or 30 days, your entire automatic frickin' system is going to change for the better. This will be taught in school. This will be taught in school, because when a child with a wonderful imagination gets to go into its first level of school, I don't even want to call it school, because school is such a rigged brainwashing program. Let's just call it learning to fly. And they go into grade 1, which is the only grade they'll ever need. And they learn what an emotion is, what an emotional reaction is, what an emotional trigger is. And then they learn that their thoughts and their words and the frequency that they put behind those thoughts, words, and their imagination creates their reality. Plain and simple. End of school. No 12 years, no 16 years. You don't need it. All that useless, manipulated, inverted lies of science and the medical system and history. And it's the biggest scam ever. So this is all great news. Again, because our children are not going to have to go through this completely manipulated prison system. Number one goal is right now to protect them from having their DNA altered. And if it happens, then we will find ways to heal that. Med beds are coming. The mind is a powerful thing. And this is where we're at. Most exciting time ever. So if anybody else has any questions, feel free to pop them in. I'm going to continue just a little bit longer. So, okay, dismantling the belief system. So how do you do it? How do you do it? Well, the way that worked for me was I wrote down my beliefs, and my mentor had us do it as an exercise, so I had to do it. I had homework, which I don't dig. Nobody digs homework unless it's something they love, especially looking at your stuff. So, but it happened pretty quickly for me. I got a journal. I was a good student, and I started to write down my beliefs. And then I was like, these aren't even mine. None of these beliefs are mine. They all came from outside of me. They all came from religion, which I grew up in, Catholic school all my life, being an altar boy in church. Every day was Judgment Day. Everything was inverted and manipulated. Unbelievable. That's dissolving. That's one thing people are going to wake up to here quite soon. And if it's working for you, great. But most people are giving their power away, and it's pretty manipulated. So we look at our belief system. We begin to track our beliefs, and we begin to track our judgments and our automatic reactions, because so many people in the 3D matrix, they're just nothing more than automatic reactors. They're like I was. I was a judgeaholic. I was pointing out everything that was wrong out there, and the 3D matrix was exposing it and just kept feeding it to us on the television and in the news and in advertisements. So sure, people are feeling less than. People are feeling triggered. Everybody's plotted against each other. Republican versus Democrat, White Lives Matter. It's all set up to keep everybody reacting so they'll stay in a low frequency. It's brilliant, really. But it's dissolving now. But you must be able to see the program in order to dissolve it. You cannot dissolve a program that you can't see, because your ego will justify it. So I'm going to give you guys a big key for those that are really committed to moving out of 3D and doing more of what you came for here with your soul contract. And you're already doing it. So don't feel like you're not doing enough, because that's a big program that keeps us stuck. Just observe, just observe and love on yourself. But it's really, really key to catch these triggers, because every single judgment that we have is about us. And this was a big inverted trap that is a little bit difficult for people to see, because what happens is people take on a belief system that's not even theirs. They get it from school, from their parents, from their grandparents, from reading books, from watching information, from religion. And then that becomes their belief system. And the ego feels safe as long as its beliefs aren't challenged. This is key to get. So when your belief system becomes challenged, what happens? The person goes into automatic reaction. They either have a judgment, a reaction, they get angry, they feel less than, whatever it is, it keeps them stuck in looping in the 3D matrix. The only way out is to dismantle these automatic reactions. And the only way to do that is to begin to notice them and to commit to dismantling them. And the only way that one can dismantle them is to be willing to be 100% accountable for their thoughts and their reactions. And this process gets one to see, because you begin to track all your judgments, all your less than thoughts, all your reactions. You might think this is overwhelming and it's difficult. It's not. It's actually one of the most interesting and fascinating things that one will ever do, because you will begin to see the program and how they did it to people. And you'll be able to see all these people walking around as just automatic reactors. And you'll be able to have compassion for them because it's not their fault. At some point, if you give somebody an invitation to heal and to no longer be an automatic reactor, and they choose to still be a victim, then that's on them. But when you show somebody how the belief system keeps them trapped, it's actually a prison. It's a total prison. Yeah. And if you're open to that, then your whole life is going to open up beyond anything you can imagine, because you are an unlimited being and your belief system is so frickin' tiny. It's a prison. It's a prison. I mean, not every belief. Like if you have a belief like I had, like love is the answer, that's a good belief I kept. The other belief I kept is I'm a sovereign divine being. Those are the only two beliefs I kept out of everything. Now, my statement of empowerment is I know nothing. I don't need to know anything. I track frequency now. I know what a loving thought is. I know what a positive thought is. I know how to attract abundance by knowing that it's all around me, and by feeling that I can give away anything that I have and more will come to me. And one of the greatest realizations I ever had, and I love this statement because it resonates deeply, is this: when one gives, it has already been returned to them. That hit me like a bolt of lightning. I was like, why didn't you tell me that when I was a kid? And maybe somebody did, but that got all squashed when I went into the school system of mind programming and deception. So I'll say that again because it was life-changing for me. When one gives, it has already been returned to them. Yeah. Hey, dear one, good to see you. So that really helped. So if you're holding on to money because you don't think there's enough, which is what I did almost my entire life, then you're squashing off the pipeline. So what I did was I had to find a way to reverse that program that I was running of lack and fear around money. And I've told this story again, but I'll tell it again quickly because it worked for me and you may find it beneficial. I was a bartender in San Diego, and this is before I started running the recording studios, or right at the beginning. And so in the United States, we work on tips. So if you're a bartender or food server, you usually get minimum wage, which isn't enough to survive on. So we get tips. So when I used to go out to dinner, or I would have drinks back in the day when I was drinking, when you get the bill, you would go to pay it and you'd go, okay, what should I tip this person? So you go through this whole process of were they good? Were they fast? Was the food good? How was the service? Blah, 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 blah. All this stuff. It's meaningless. When I finally switched it to what's the amount of the check? Okay, so let's say the check's $10. Well, in the United States, tipping is 10 to 15%. So I go, okay, 10% of $10 is $1 or $1.50. So when I used to go to tip, I would go, oh, I don't really want to tip that much. That's resistance. That's lack. That's showing me that I'm in fear of money. So I made a commitment to myself that every time I got a check or a bill, that I would double the tip. Even if the service was horrible, doesn't matter. Maybe the woman or the server has 3 kids. She's working 3 jobs. She's divorced and she's just barely hanging on by a thread. And the cook was sick and the food, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the key is looking at the root belief system that's running us around abundance, around health, around manifestation, and going in and seeing those programs. And this is what this whole thing is about in the shortest amount of time. So for me, I began to double the tips and give away more. And that loosened my grip. And it started to show my subconscious, we can give away money because money just keeps coming to us. Money just keeps flowing. There is no lack of money. It's only in the 3D matrix that they make it seem like there's lack. We could go deeper into that, but this call's not, so much focused on that, but it's important to understand that, to undo those programs. So undoing the belief system. So the last piece that I'm going to share is what I touched upon in the beginning, which is consciously and intentionally creating your reality first thing every morning and then throughout the day with as much excitement and gratitude as you can muster up, because those are the highest frequencies. Love, gratitude, excitement is my favorite. If you're excited, there's not much that can top that. Yeah, you could be in love and excitement, that all goes hand in hand, but you understand. Okay, so love and excitement, the highest frequencies, you're going to be attracting in more abundance, more people that are aligned on that frequency, more health for your body because you're loving on your body, you're loving on your food and your drink, you're putting your love and gratitude into every single thing that you put in your body. You're blessing everybody that you see in the external, including the animals, the insects, the elementals, the earth, everything. From the minute you wake up in the morning, you set the frequency of your day. And yeah, it might go up and down depending on what you're doing. That's why we set alarms on our phone to remind us to come back and check in. So I have everybody that goes through the Waking Up in the Dream 30-day process set 15 alarms on their phone. You might not catch all of them, and you might set them on vibrate because you might be working a job or whatever, so you don't want to be interrupted. But when you see that little message on your phone that says, where's your frequency right now? You can go, oh, yeah, thank you for the reminder. You can take a breath. You can love on every cell in your body, which heals and amplifies your frequency because you're a walking magnet. I'd like you to pull that in and never forget it. And even write it down. Very valuable. I am, capital I, capital A, capital M. I am a walking magnet. And I am magnetizing the timelines that match the frequencies that I'm holding in my body, along with any past wounds, lack, shame, guilt, or anything like that. So again, the first part of this waking up in the dream process or ascension process out of 3D or whatever, it's self-healing, it's inner healing. And it's really easy to do. And if that triggers anybody, just take a breath. I journey with people on the first call that have been raped, have been molested, have had people murdered in their family. Yes, it's painful, but it was part of the soul contract. And you may not want to hear that right away, but the sooner you become okay with it, there's a reason why you're here and why you went through what you went through. And if you went through something really major like that, then you chose to hold that frequency for the collective. And my hat's off to you. Yeah. My hat off to you. So really, really key to find the gift in every situation. Find the gift in every trigger. Find the gift anytime you feel ashamed or less than or not good enough. I don't know how many people here are doing mirror exercises every day, getting in that mirror and going, I love you. I love you. And then listening to what the ego or the mind says. Because in the beginning, it might say, oh, you're just saying that because Jeff told you to say it. You don't really love yourself. What about that time when you ruined your relationship or you did something really wrong or, whatever? I love you. I love you. I love you. It's all part of my soul contract. I love you.
And I'm growing every day in love, in kindness, in gratitude, in generosity as I raise my frequency and my own self-love. And you never walk away from the mirror until your I love you is 100% yes. And some days it might be different than others, but you make a commitment to yourself because your self-love is the most important thing that you will ever do. This is not about ego. Oh, I love myself because I'm so great. No, that's a whole different frequency. That's a fear-based frequency of neediness. Self-love is like, I'm in my heart. I love people and I'm going to smile at everybody I see, no matter what. And I'm going to see everybody as my teacher, no matter what, especially anybody that triggers me or that gets me into judgment. And I'm going to stop. I'm going to love on my body. I'm going to say, thank you for teaching me. Thank you for showing me where I'm still holding some judgmental frequencies or lack frequencies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The people that trigger us are our greatest teachers. Love them. Thank them. They're your mirror. And the last part I'll leave with is we must forgive. This is part of the self-healing, inner healing. We must forgive every single person, no matter what, including ourselves. No matter what. Now, this can be a little bit touchy if somebody was raped or molested or severely abused. I understand. You don't necessarily need to say thank you to somebody, but the frequency needs to be cleared because it was part of your soul contract. And here's the real key. If you don't clear it and you're still holding any type of shame or anger or judgment towards anybody, you're going to magnetize in a like frequency of events again and again. Why? Because we are walking magnets and you can't fake your way out of it. You can't fake your way out of it owning a bunch of crystals and changing your name and, whatever your thing is. You cannot bypass your inner frequency and fake it. This is why self-love is so key. So hang out with people that'll love on you. They're everywhere. And if you say that there's nobody around you and that, everybody's asleep and your family's asleep, I understand. But now that we have this thing called the internet, you can be in contact with people all over the world that are consciously aware. You will attract them to you. Set your frequency in the morning. Set your intention. Here's how my morning routine goes. I awaken from the sleeping dream, my head still on the pillow. I open my eyes and I go, I get another day. And I get excited because I've been doing this for years now and it works. And it works incredibly well. And so I will not get out of bed without doing this. No way, no how. Not even to go to the bathroom. Not even if the house is on fire. Maybe. If the flames are close to me, I might. But you know what I mean. Because if you don't take command of consciously creating your reality first thing every morning, those 50 to 80,000 thoughts are going to start running and you're just carrying in yesterday's 3D. And it's not all bad. Maybe your thoughts run and you're like, wow, I'm totally blessed. I'm totally pumped up. And today's going to be an incredibly rocking day. Awesome. I'm starting at the bottom for people that may not have experienced this before, so I cover all bases. So when I awaken from the sleeping dream into this awakened dream, my process goes like this. I breathe in, full breaths. I'm loving on every cell in my body. I'm taking my hands and I'm rubbing them on my body. I'm thanking this body for loving me in every moment since I've been in the womb. I've never had to ask my body to purify my blood, to beat my heart, to run all the processes that it runs without me having to even think about it. So I'm in total gratitude. I'm loving on my body and I'm smiling because that raises my frequency. Then the next thing I do is I consciously create my reality. I see anything I desire is already here now. The amazing people, relationships, abundance flowing in, playing concerts all over the world, sold out shows, travel to the most incredible places, magic, miracles, which aren't even magic and miracles. They're the law of vibration and attraction. And so it's very, very, very key. In fact, it's the whole game. It's everything. To see anything you desire is already here now. And if you need to practice it, write it down. It's going to change your life. Because most people are using the spell words want, wish, hope, could, should, trying. Those are all weak spells that people don't even realize when they're using them. That they tell your subconscious, still not here yet. It's in the future. It's still not here yet. So if the subconscious is receiving a message that it's still not here yet, it cannot deliver it to you. This is self-mastery. Healing, self-love, dismantling the belief system, and consciously creating your reality and checking in to monitor where your frequency is as many times a day as you can. Set the alarms on your phone. This is priceless. This cost me over $100,000 in 20 years, 17 years of my life to put this together. And it's so simple. It's just a decision. Are you going to step in to your soul's higher purpose and what you came here for and no longer be a victim ever? Never. You don't blame anybody for anything. There might be some instances somebody wrecks into your car, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about subconsciously creating and manifesting our reality. Anybody have any questions before we go? I want to thank everybody for your energy, for staying on. 18 people for over an hour. That's pretty good. I want to say that we are in one of the most exciting times right now. And I don't know what you guys are seeing, but what I'm seeing is waves and waves of affirmations that the energy's coming into the planet and the frequencies that we are holding collectively together and the envisioning of the new earth timelines that are already here are accelerating this thing faster and faster and faster every day, every day. So the number one question to ask yourself throughout the day, and this is why the alarms are so key, and it's why it's critical to consciously create your reality first thing every single morning. If this one gets by you, I've done my best. I just gave it 1,000% for over an hour. These are the tools. I'm sharing with you everything that I share in the book, the digital online course. The trainings are so powerful, the PowerPoint trainings. You'll get to see what the ego does. And before I go, I'm going to invite you to name your ego. Name it whatever you want. I named my ego Larry. Larry was the judgeaholic, the fear-based, the guy in lack, the guy who felt ashamed, guilty, all that low vibrational stuff. That was Larry. And the reason why I have everybody that I journey with one-on-one name their ego is so they can begin to very quickly see the program that the ego's running to remain in control, the reactionary program to anything that touches on a wound that's still unhealed, or anything that challenges our flimsy little belief system, which is a prison. The sooner you get rid of that belief system and stop having to defend it, the sooner the whole universe opens up. Because our beliefs are so tiny, they wouldn't even fit on the head of a pin. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah. You name your ego and start observing how it does what it does, loving on it, keeping track of it. If you want to do it, just get the book. Go to the link. It's half price today. Or get the digital course. It's for the cost of going out to dinner. You get the PowerPoint trainings. Or come and journey with me for 30 days and get this every day. I'll make sure that you are loved and that you dismantle every limiting. It's so easy. It's so easy. All you got to do is just be willing to do it. It's so easy. Thank you so much, Angelica. It changed my life more than anything. That's why I do this. So, yeah, I'm grateful. Grateful for all of you. If anybody's interested in doing the 30-day journey, I journey with 4 people each month. And that's all I can do, because when somebody puts their trust in me, we're in it for 30 days. We do one deep dive call every week. It's usually 90 minutes to 2 hours. It's all recorded. You get all the PowerPoint trainings, the tracking sheet. You start to see these programs on the very first day. I don't know of anything that is more life-changing than going through this process. It's why I'm so passionate about it. And so I love it when people show up to do this, because then I know that they're going to take that forward and share that with other people. And this is how we change the whole dream very, very quickly. So here's a link for the book. It's all at portal2awakening.com if anybody's interested. And then, if you want to join our mailing list, you can go to Portal to Awakening. The little thing will pop up. I don't do a lot of emails because I don't want to spam people, but it's life-changing. So any final questions at 1 hour and 11 minutes and 33 seconds? I love it. I love how the field plays with you when you get excited. When you get excited and you use your intention, the field mirrors you back every time. It's fascinating. It's so much fun. So, okay. Well, 12/12 in the USA, and the shift is on. So many incredible reveals are going to happen over the next 30 to 60 to 90 days. They're already happening. So, again, to recap, do the inner healing. Forgive every single person that you claim ever did anything wrong to you. Clear it, because you're the only one holding it. And that will attract more like frequencies. So do the inner healing. If you need assistance, reach out. Okay? Second thing, dismantle your belief system. Every time you get triggered, stop. Go in and ask, what is this trying to teach me? What's this trying to show me about me? It's never about the other person you're judging. Yeah, if they're physically assaulting you in the room or whatever, then get out of the situation. But otherwise, it's just your mind being reactive. And it's going to happen over and over and over and over and over until you clear it. This will free you more than anything. So key, so simple, so easy. If you knew what this would do for your life, you would be running to do this course. And anybody can do it. So dismantle the belief system. Catch your triggers. Become the conscious observer. Catch yourself. You can feel the frequency when you're triggered. Judgment, less than thought, anger, upset, shame, guilt, doubt, fear. You can feel that. If you don't stop and go, okay, what's this trying to show me or teach me? Nothing's going to change. Stopping and breathing is great because that stops the trigger from running or the emotional reaction. But if you don't ask, what is this trying to show me? Then you're only getting one piece of it, and it's going to have to come back again until you clear it. This is so simple. So simple. So keep doing it, friends. This is such an exciting time. And it's my honor to come on and share this stuff. And thank you for everybody, 16 people that have stayed on here. And thank you to everybody that shares these in other groups, because there's a lot of people that may be feeling alone right now. They may not have heard this before. You know, the last thing anybody ever thinks of doing is going in and healing themselves. I don't know why. Yeah, if they've got a broken arm or, something wrong with their body, then yeah, they think about that because they can feel it. I'm talking about the buried subconscious stuff that's running underneath the surface. Most people they forget about it and they try and do their best, not understanding that that is still affecting their frequency and vibration in everything they do. This is key. This is number one. And there's nothing that can't be healed. I've moved through it all with people. Murder, rape, abuse, horrible shit. Yes, and we get on calls and we move through some tears. And sometimes we pound out anger on our bed. We stack some pillows and kneel down and we pound that shit out so nobody gets hurt. But the energy must move. Feeling is healing. You can't always think your way out of it. If there's trapped emotions, sometimes they need to move. And if you resonate with me, I'm very gentle at doing it. I'm very gentle and very compassionate. For people to put their trust in me, that's the highest honor ever. But the bottom line is, there's no sense in dragging it out. You go in and you heal, you clear it. You cry if you got to cry. You scream if you got to scream, but you clear it. Let your body be free. Thank those people. And then take those gifts that you took on your soul contract so you can go and have all this incredible compassion and kindness and love for other people that may be going through the same thing. Or just the fact that you cleared it for the entire collective. How wonderful is that, rock star? Yeah. So thank you again. Here's the link one more time. Portal to Awakening, it's all there. I have 3 spots open right now, rolling into the new year. And all I can say is it's the most life-changing stuff I've ever done. And it's faster than anything I've ever done by far. By far. So thank you, everybody. Big, big love. Hey, Asta. Yeah, we're doing it together. We all came here to do it. We're rocking it. So big, big love to everybody. Get excited. Stay excited. It's the highest frequency. Consciously create your reality every single morning. Commit to it. And do it before you go to sleep. Let your subconscious percolate on what you already claim to be here now. It's already here now. The money, the relationships, the abundance, the home, the dream home, whatever it is, the travel, the ideal thing you do for passion. See it is already here now and begin to get playful. Playfulness and excitement, the 2 highest frequencies. That will magnetize your desires to you. Rinse and repeat. Big, big love from Thailand. Keep ramping it up in the US and everywhere else. 12/12 Solstice. And we'll connect again soon for the next live. All right? Big love, everybody. Thank you so much. Keep rocking the dream.